Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, it was an active night for some of you as showers and storms raced across the area. Pretty intense line earlier tonight, but that line has now moved into Indiana. Now we've just got a few lingering rain showers out there, and now it's a cold rain because temperatures have tumbled quite a bit. 52 in Champaign. It's 44 now in Springfield. Now temperatures through tomorrow are going to struggle to get to the lower 50s for highs. We're going to start out in the 30s in the morning. Yep, going to need to pull the jacket back out. Haven't said that much during the last week or so. More about the temperatures staying cool, and we've got some damage pictures from earlier as the storms rolled through, so stick around. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
COVID-19 cases are up across the state and right here in central Illinois. The changes some officials are making to get a grip on the virus. Plus, to play or not to play, that's the question on the minds of high school leaders, what several decided for their athletes tonight.
And a new restaurant means more food choices in one city, how it's also helping people financially.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Unfortunately, the virus isn't tired. This is the brutality of this situation. The virus doesn't get tired.
U of I is warning its students, faculty, and staff not to let their guards down as coronavirus cases climb. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Leaders say they're seeing a concerning increase in cases among faculty and staff, and now they're making changes. On November 6th, the 7-day positivity rate for faculty and staff at U of I tripled to 0.72. That was slightly higher than the undergraduates who had a 0.7 rate. Contact tracing shows faculty and staff members are likely picking up the virus off campus. So to combat it, they're now asking them to increase testing to twice a week, just like undergrads. Leaders are also asking them to work and stay home as much as possible, especially leading up to Thanksgiving.
We're all looking forward to seeing our family and friends for Thanksgiving. The best thing we can do for each other is to go home without COVID. And so we're asking every student, every faculty, every staff member, 2 weeks, do the most you can to be as safe as possible to protect yourself and to protect your family and friends.
We spoke with several U of I staff and graduate students who say they've already been limiting their activities to essentials, working from home, and taking tests regularly. One did voice concerns, saying, quote, "As I primarily work from home and get tested according to university guidelines, I'm wondering how college football can continue to be justified as an essential activity," end quote. Cases continue to skyrocket across the state as well. There are more than 12,500 new cases. More than 4,700 people are in the hospital, 911 are in the ICU, almost 400 people are on ventilators. 79 more people have died, including 14 from central Illinois. That death toll is now more than 10,200 people. As for the state's positivity rate, it is sitting at 12%. Region 3 in the western half of central Illinois is at 15.2%. Region 6 is at 11.9%.
And speaking of Region 6, the Edgar County Health Department says it is seeing an alarming spread of COVID-19 in that area. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen joins us. So, Jennifer, how bad is it there?
Paul, the health department told me coronavirus cases in Edgar County have reached an all-time high, with new cases pouring in at a startling rate. They say the virus has been frequently spread through family gatherings, and they've also had many reports of the virus spreading in schools. Just in the past 24 hours, there have been 30 reported cases. Contact tracing has been overwhelming for the health department. They're following about 500 people daily, calling every person the positive case may have exposed to the virus.
But we've never had this many cases in a day, and that's kind of a daily occurrence for us at this point. So we are very concerned about community spread and concerned as we go in near the holidays. I'm concerned that as gatherings increase, so will the virus.
The health department says they've already hired 13 people to help with contact tracing, but they still need to hire more people to help as the cases keep rolling in. The health department says there could be a delay in response to COVID-related calls, but they ensured that they will always investigate and follow up as soon as they can. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thanks for that update. Now, Sangamon County and Springfield are both falling in line with the state's mitigation plans after their own case spike. The county will put a plan in place starting on Friday. Last week, county officials said they would go against the governor's indoor dining ban and allowed 25% capacity for indoor dining. But after posting over 1,000 new cases in the past week, the county has reversed course. Now, a Sangamon County Mental Health Center has an outbreak. The health department confirmed McFarland Mental Health Center in Springfield has 35 cases. No word how many of those are patients.
Hospitalizations across the state are passing peaks set back in spring, with some areas even tripling those previous highs. Medical professionals say hospital capacity isn't as bad as it could be, but they're always preparing for the worst case scenarios. An official we spoke with in Springfield says his hospital is constantly planning for adjustments.
The hospitalizations tend to lag the number of cases in the community. So you need the cases in the community to peak, and then a week or 2 weeks later, the cases in the hospitals will peak as well.
ICU availability and overall capacity in hospitals in regions 3 and 6 are in the lower 30% range, and the state's line for concern is at 20%. One health center is postponing some surgeries because it's so full. Sarah Bush Lincoln in Mattoon has 43 COVID patients. That's the most they've ever had. So they've decided to put a hold on most inpatient elective surgeries, but they are doing that on a case-by-case basis.
It's really about bed space and not about safety. The hospital is on peak census, and we have to make sure that if somebody's having an inpatient surgery, that they've got a bed to go to when they come out of surgery.
If you do have a surgery scheduled there, they will contact you beforehand if it needs to be postponed.
Here's an update from 6. Urbana's school board members say they plan to vote against playing basketball this season. This comes after the IHSA announced late last month it would go against the state's public health guidance and have a basketball season. Other districts are still in the decision-making process or have already voted to put the season on hold. So far, St. Anthony and Effingham is the only one in our viewing area that says they plan to play. Urbana's board was all on the same page at tonight's meeting.
We don't even have school open right now, so to make the decision to do a sport that is a high contact sport at a time where we've seen the most increase in cases since this COVID-19 started, I think would be reckless for us as a district. So
the IHSA Board of Directors will meet tomorrow afternoon in an update session to discuss feedback they've received from hundreds of member schools and their intentions on whether to move forward with the season. If an official meeting is called by the board, they could take action and vote on moving forward with the plan to play as is, postpone, cancel, or try and move the season. Urbana's board also reviewed the district's report card for the last school year. It showed a graduation rate of 87% and a chronic absenteeism rate of 23%, although both could be impacted by COVID-19. The district's teacher retention rate went down for the 4th year in a row, this time sitting at 78%. It's also below the state's average of 86% retention.
New for you tonight, Decatur police are looking for a man wanted for attempted murder. They say Leon King was involved in a shooting earlier this month on East Hickory Street. One person was hurt. He's considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information, you're asked to call Decatur police. A former Danville pastor is facing sexual assault and abuse charges. Timothy Shaw turned himself in to Fairview Heights police about 2 weeks ago. His cousin Tamaya Sanders says he sexually abused her when she was 9. He was 16 at the time and had just moved in with her family. Sanders says Shaw abused her for 7 years, and she feels there are probably other victims.
The most surprising thing is just like all of these people coming forward and to know that it took me to get this man behind bars. So that's what's really surprising, knowing that I wasn't the only one out there who had a story about him.
Shaw was the pastor of Second Baptist Church in Danville. We've reached out to the church several times today and have not heard back.
A fire decimated a residence hall across the world, why the U of I is stepping in to help.
Plus, you'd think the pandemic wouldn't be the best time to start a business, but some restaurants are preparing to serve up food regardless. And
Urbana wasn't the only school to make a decision about whether they'll play what an entire conference decided.